Hello everyone, welcome to biology lesson. My name is Ravi. I am biology teacher. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about light reactions. Light reactions are very important reactions in the process of photosynthesis. Plants, by performing these light reactions, they produce the energy which is needed for carboxylation process. This carbon dioxide reduction or this carboxylation process is in the part of dark reactions. Means majorly the photosynthetic reactions are divided into two broad categories. One is light reactions, the other one is dark reactions. In the light reactions, plants they use the sunlight to produce chemical energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. The products in this light reaction were consumed in the dark reactions. What happens in the dark reactions? Exactly what's going on in the dark reactions? In the dark reactions, when the plants absorb the carbon dioxide from the environment or their surroundings, this carbon dioxide reduced or fixed with the help of some chemical reactions. For these chemical reactions, they need energy. This energy they get from the light reactions. In dark reactions, this carbon dioxide reduced into the glucose. That is the main purpose of the photosynthesis. Why these light reactions are important in the plants? The main theme of these light reactions are to produce energy which is required for the synthesis of glucose. Apart from this energy, light reactions are very important that during these reactions plants produce the oxygen. In plants, light reactions are divided into two types. One is cyclic photophosphorylation, another one is non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Why the word is photophosphorylation? Phosphorylation is synthesis of energy, that is ATP. Photo means for the synthesis of ATP, plants use the sunlight. Synthesis of ATP in the presence of light, this we call as photophosphorylation. This photophosphorylation is two types, like what I told you, cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylations. Let's see about these two types of photophosphorylations. Before going to learn that photophosphorylation, we have to know one basic thing, that when the chlorophyll A molecule, when they gets the light energy, the electrons which are moving in their orbits get excited and escape from their orbit. How this chlorophyll gets the energy? Light, they transfer the energy in the form of photons. Light rays always carries one energy molecules or energy forms in the those are we call as a photons. These photons, when they hit on the chlorophyll molecule, so the energy from the photons transferred to the chlorophyll molecule. When the chlorophyll molecule got the energy, the electrons which are present in their outer orbital get excited and they escape from their orbital. So this thing we called as an excited state of chlorophyll. Cyclic photophosphorylation. In cyclic photophosphorylation, photosystem 1 is functional. To understand what is photosystem 1 or photosystem 2, you can watch my previous video about light harvesting complex and photosystems. In cyclic photophosphorylation, only photosystem 1 is functional. During this cyclic photophosphorylation, the electron is circulated within same photosystem, means within photosystem 1. Cyclic photophosphorylation occurs on stroma lamellae. Here you can see this is a stroma lamellae. Why the cyclic photophosphorylation occurs only on stroma lamellae? Because there are two reasons. So this stroma lamellae membrane lack of the other photosystem which called as photosystem 2, as well as its lack of NADP reductase enzyme. Because of this reason, cyclic photophosphorylation takes place on the stroma lamellae, means here. In photosystem 1, light energy converted as ATP. The energized electrons that leaves the photosystem 1 and pass along a series of electron acceptors and back to the same photosystem 1, means they back to the chlorophyll molecule. As the electrons are passed along with the electron transport system, the energy of electrons released to make energy form, that is ATP. So on the screen you can see the basic outlines of this cyclic photophosphorylation. Now let's go in detail. Here on the screen you are seeing this photosystem 1. It's also called P700. So why it's called P700, I already explained in my previous video. Here in photosystem 1, these are the accessory pigments and only one reaction center, this is chlorophyll A molecule. When photosystem 1 absorbs the light energy from the sun, all these accessory pigments transfer their light energy to this reaction center. This reaction center, when it gets the light energy, automatically the energized electrons from their outer orbit come out and it passes through a different electron acceptors. While it is passing through these different electron acceptors, they release energy to form ATP. Once the electrons lost their energy, then it will come back again the same photosystem. That's why this type of photophosphorylation we call as cyclic photophosphorylation. Here we have to know what are these electron acceptors. So the energized electrons from PS1, photosystem 1, flow via ferredoxin, plastoquinone, cytochrome complex. Here cytochrome complex have two different electron acceptors. One is cytochrome B and cytochrome C. While the electron is passing through the cytochrome B and C, it flows the electrons to form ATP. Once the electrons lost the energy and it passed to the plastoquinone, finally return to the chlorophyll A molecule, which is called as a reaction center. The electrons return to the same chlorophyll from which they were removed. Here in these reactions, most of the reactions belongs to redox reactions. Means once the ferredoxin received the electron, we call it reduced or reduction. Once the ferredoxin passed the electron to the plastoquinone, so this ferredoxin is we call as the oxidized or oxidizing agent. When the plastoquinone received the electrons, again this plastoquinone is a reductive agent, or we call this reaction reduction. Once the plastoquinone pass these electrons, we can say that plastoquinone get oxidized. Like this, all these electron carriers or acceptors, they perform redox reactions. Means they will get oxidized and redox. The main important thing is during cyclic photophosphorylation, they produce only ATP energy. Let's go for the other type of photophosphorylation, that is non-cyclic photophosphorylation. It's also called the G scheme. Why they are calling as a G scheme? The electron flow looks like a Z. That's why this non-cyclic photophosphorylation we call as G scheme. Okay, let's discuss about this non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In chloroplast, when the two photosystems work in a series, first PS1 and then PS2, a process called non-cyclic photophosphorylation. Here in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, PS1 and PS2, both photosystems will participate to produce the energy. These two photosystems work in a series, first PS1 and then PS2. The two photosystems are connected through an electron transport chain. Here you can see these two photosystems connected through an electron transport chain. So both ATP and NADPH are synthesized by this kind of electron flow. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation, the energies are produced in two forms. One is ATP and NADPH. Most important thing is non-cyclic photophosphorylation occurs on these thylakoids. What are these thylakoids? Here, when you focus on this part, this we call as a granum. Each granum is made of a disc-shaped membranous system. So this disc-shaped membranous system we call as thylakoids. These thylakoid membranes have these two different pigment system like PS1 and PS2. This non-cyclic photophosphorylation need this both PS1 and PS2. So that's why this type of photophosphorylation occurs on the membrane of thylakoid. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation, the energized electrons originated from photosystem 1 and not returned to the same photosystem 1. Here, this is the photosystem 1. It's also called P700. This is accessory pigments. When the accessory pigments transfer the light energy to the reaction center, uh, automatically the energized electrons escape from their outer orbit and it will pass through the different electron acceptors. Here you can see the first primary acceptor, then it's passed to the ferredoxin. From the peridoxin, the two electrons were passed to the NADPH to form NADPH. When this photosystem have lack of two electrons, why this photosystem has lack of two electrons? Because these two electrons were transferred to the NADP to form NADPH. These two electrons were not returned yet, like they did not return to this photosystem 1. That's why here missing of two electrons. This missing two electrons were replaced by the photosystem 2. This photosystem 2 observed the wavelength of 680 nanometers, and these accessory pigments transfer the energy to this reaction center, chlorophyll A molecule. Then the energized electrons come out from their orbit and they pass through the different electron acceptors such as primary acceptor, plastoquinone, cytochrome complex, plastocyanin, and finally it's reached to the photosystem 1 to replace the missing electrons. Here, these electrons, while passing through this cytochrome complex, these electrons lost their energy to produce ATP. In this non-cyclic photophosphorylation, we can see that there is a two kinds of energy were produced. One is ATP and other one is NADPH. Again, here, when this photosystem 2 fulfill the electrons in photosystem 1, again PS system photosystem 2 lack of two electrons. How these two electrons were fulfilled? Here, these missing electrons were replaced with the help of photolysis. What is photolysis? When photosystem 2 lack of electrons, the water molecule splits into electrons, hydrogens and half oxygen molecule. This due to the photolysis process, when the water produce these two electrons reach to the photosystem 2 to replace the missing electrons. Like this non-cyclic photophosphorylation produce two different energy types. Those are ATP and NADPH. For more information, you can read this matter, and here you can see splitting of water. In the presence of sunlight, the water molecule splits into protons, electrons, and oxygen molecule. Generally, this oxygen molecule always in the form of O2. If once one molecule of water splits, it only produces half molecule of oxygen. To produce one molecule of oxygen, two molecules of water should split into the four protons, four electrons, and one molecule of oxygen. This is about the light reactions. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Take care. Bye bye.